What role does Schwab play in consolidation?
I think what we try to do is strategically look at every opportunity that comes up and make a decision whether it's not just something that creates shareholder benefit, but does it have a strategic fit?
And usually you pass.
We have, because most of the deals that we've seen really were what we would call a consolidation deal. So it means I buy you, I fire 70% of your employees, we get a bit of a stock benefit. What does that do for the client? We're really questioning where's the client benefit in addition to possible benefit from the shareholder standpoint. If it's purely about the shareholder, I don't know that that meets our criteria.
If E-Trade were put up for sale, would Schwab be a bidder?
Well, we can't comment on any individual organization, and of course, to the best of my knowledge, they're not for sale.
Not yet, but there's plenty of speculation, and you know why, that they may be soon. Here's what I wonder. How important is it for you to contemplate buying E-Trade or at the same time risk that it falls into the hands of one of your significant competitors, a TD Ameritrade, for example, or a Fidelity?
Yeah, so I don't think we're that worried about where any organization falls or ends up possibly consolidating with someone else. If we keep our focus on the client and doing the right thing by the client, we're going to grow. And that really is our emphasis. It's not so much where some firm ends up.
Some people are going to listen to that answer and think to themselves, Walt doesn't care what happens to E-Trade. Is that true?
I care a lot what happens to clients. There's always going to be M&A in every industry, and there's always going to be firms possibly for sale and firms that are interested in growing via acquisition. We've had a long history of growing organically very successfully. If the right acquisitions present themselves that meet our criteria, logic for the investor in Schwab stock, but also logic for the client, we'll pursue those aggressively, and we have.
You keep fielding questions, Walt, about Amazon and Google. What if they enter the investment industry? Sure. How great a risk is that? Or is it a risk at all?
Well, it's a big decision for firms like that to enter our space. So
you can see why they might find it attractive.
Maybe. So let me offer two things to think about in that space. The first one is the regulatory oversight. So for a firm like Schwab, with a $250 billion balance sheet, our primary regulator is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve does a fabulous job of being very deep into everything we do. So if you are a FANG type company and you decide you want to come into our space in a manner consistent with the way we operate, you will invite the Federal Reserve into every single thing you do in every aspect of your company.
You're saying buyer beware Jeff Bezos?
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd just say it's a wide moat and a big decision to make. One other factor. In our business, the markets don't just go up. Markets go down too. In fact, arguably, we could say markets go down 40% of the time. If you have an exceptionally successful business model and you're one of the FANGs, do you want to move into a business where 40% of the time you're going to disappoint your clients? That's another factor you got to think very carefully about, I think, if I'm sitting in the shoes of the CEO role at one of the FANGs.